And let's get going. All right, so now we are talking about from the ceremony through the reception. So you guys remember last week I was talking about the timeline. Big questions to ask. The first one, when does the ceremony begin? Because that's the first thing that a couple will set is the place and the time. Once that's set, then everything else can go. And then when is dinner served? So that you know what kind of things you need to fit into where. You already know to ask these questions. What kind of things are happening? What special moments? When does reception start? But never, ever, ever hold up the timeline. It's not about us, it's about the couple. The more that you plan ahead of time, what goes when and where, and take notes, write it down, because generally people are talking to you at about a year ahead of time. So write things down and you're going to look like an ace when it comes down to it. You come back to the timeline and or conversations with them. Okay, I see you have dinner served at blah, blah, blah. Has that changed? Or this is happening and that's happening, and they're going to love you and think you're amazing. And all you did was take good notes. Okay, so we've already talked about the stuff before the ceremony. First look, capturing the details of their outfits, the families together. Remember that I love to do the bride and her family, the groom and his family. Now, I wouldn't go into complete, get it all the way down to the cousins and the grandkids, just the immediate family. Parents, definitely. Siblings, maybe. I wouldn't go any further than that, to be honest, unless mama is saying, I want these pictures. Whatever mom wants, mom gets at that time. That's the time that we give it to her. Make sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I was waiting for somebody. I can only see in Brian Foxworth's head. So he's looking off somewhere. I don't know if he's even here. So
I
I
need
was
two
looking for
screens,
some.
so I'm looking at two separate screens.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got my webcam over here, but my screen over this way. Okay, so about the ceremony. Again, plan, ask the questions. What's happening during your ceremony? What are the details? Are they doing communion, a sand thing, something? What are they doing? Capture those details. I actually really love this because this is a great way to capture the church without capturing a bunch of bald heads and, strangeness like that. You can get really low and still capture the church. And there's the bride and groom. I think it's just gorgeous. Great way to do it. Talk to the pastor or the officiant or whoever's actually doing this as well, because oftentimes they're going to be just fine if you're respectful to capture these details. And other times I've been told myself personally, pick a spot and stay there. They don't want you there. So they're going to kind of make you as uncomfortable as possible. Just be respectful as you can. And if there's a difference between what the bride and groom want, what the couple want, and what the officiant will let you do, be okay with the officiant, because you don't want to anger them. But also let the bride and groom know, or whoever the couple is, let them know. Hey, I'm going to be able to do this. And I like to say them as a positive. We talked about me getting up on the platform with you guys and capturing your first communion together as a couple. But the officiant really doesn't want me up there. So what I'm going to do is try to stay over to the side and use a long lens. Give them the best idea that I can do. Make sense? Cool. Okay, thank you. Okay, ceremony site. Go in. These are part of the details you want to try to capture beforehand, before the ceremony starts, before the guests start coming, while everything still looks beautiful. And especially when it comes to churches like this that aren't necessarily artificially lit inside, but they have all these windows. That's a great time to break out your tripod and long shutter speeds. That works really, really well. Wide, medium, close. Remember all the details. Wide, medium, close. Love it. Look for the personal touches and the details that the couple have put into it. Okay, again, wide, medium, close, focal lengths. As they're passing, they're right in the back of the church. There's the nice wide. Here's the church. Here's the people. Medium or somewhat close, but I can still get a whole lot of goodness going on there. And then nice and close as they're passing by. Just lovely, lovely, lovely. You may need to use a flash here. What you don't want are raccoon eyes. She is going to have the biggest smile on the planet, and you want her to look as good as possible. Raccoon eyes is not great. How this photographer did it with these raccoon eyes, I don't like it. But it's a nice medium shot. I will give you that. Okay. Sorry, the cleaners are here. They're going right by my door. Can you guys still hear me okay? Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Tripod camera in the back. This is your long lens, your good one. You can have a slower shutter speed in the back because you cannot have a flash during this. That's just not a cool thing to keep flashing during the ceremony. At the beginning, it's quite all right. People kind of expect it. When the bride is coming down the aisle, they expect that. There's times that people will expect it. Like say if we're doing a fashion show, they expect flash. It's okay. But during a ceremony, a wedding ceremony, it's not really okay. So camera on a tripod, long lens because you're in the back, and no flash. But this one will capture all the main images. If you're working by yourself, obviously that's your camera that you set up ahead of time. As soon as the couple passes you, they're starting their vows or, thanks everybody for being here. You can be seated. There's nothing happening. This is when you run back, pull out that tripod camera, double check your settings and start going at it. They don't move very much, so you can get some really nice shots there. It's really good. Now, if you have two people, personally, I like to put my second on the tripod camera because that's kind of there's really nothing hard about this one. You're going to get the shot. It's amazing. And I like to run around. So you go around the back, don't go in the front, go around the back. So you have to haul butt. And I like to be on the side, capturing when he's giving his vows and when she's giving hers or vice versa, capturing them talking. It's just a lovely moment. I really like to capture this. Now, since I'm towards the front, even though I'm on the side, I can capture the parents too. That's a nice time to do it. Hopefully the parents aren't doing this job with their phone through the whole thing because, parents their mouths wide open because, we can't see that well because, we're over 50. It's not exactly the best one. But if you can get the parents, that's a really nice picture too. Okay. What special things are the couple putting in their ceremony? Capture that. Plan with the couple and the officiant to capture that. Let them know you're coming. Let them know you're going to do it. And nothing you should do should be a surprise, either to the couple or the officiant, whoever that happens to be. Cool. This is really important, y'all. If it's a surprise, you're going to get a lot of pushback. But if they know about it and you've planned it together, then there's no surprise whatsoever. And you can get all these great photos. Okay. So what kind of ending does the ceremony have? Has anyone been to a longer Catholic wedding? Not just a quick one.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yep. When did the couple kiss?
Now I don't.
It's in the middle of the ceremony.
Yeah, and I am Catholic, but we have a mass during
Yeah.
that.
And
Yeah.
it's in the middle of that ceremony. It's not at the end as they turn around and walk out the door. So you kind of have to be ready for that. that type of thing. Again, knowing what's going on, plan, 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 plan. I think I should call this the planning and event class. This is, you have to plan so much to be able to get it all, to be ready for it. Jewish weddings, they end a little differently. Catholic weddings, even though they're the standard American, they end, the kiss is not at the end. It's kind of in the middle-ish, or towards the end, but kind of in the middle. African weddings, they can jump a broomstick. Sometimes you don't see that because it's so small and it's on the ground and you're looking at the people. You may not notice the broomstick. There's just all kinds of things. I photographed once, I seconded for an Middle Eastern wedding of some sort that I really don't know what I don't know if they were Lebanese. I just don't know what they were. But it was the most unusual thing I'd ever seen. And I did not know what was happening. But I wasn't the first one, and I wasn't the one that was responsible for knowing. So I just photographed everything, anything and everything. But if to guarantee you, if they were my clients, I would have known what was going on and been in the know. Any other fun ones you guys been a part of that want to talk about? Any other types of weddings that you've seen in other cultures or other things?
I would just say that for whatever wedding that you're being a participant of, little things like I've had the actual person performing the ceremony in Catholic Church come around the entire ceremony and tell me to take my hat off, like make sure your clothing is culturally appropriate.
Yes.
These are conversations you have with the couple in order to make sure that he almost stopped the entire ceremony in order to make a point to come over. And he's kind of, being a dick. But like the point is like to make sure that it's clear that your couple, like whatever you're wearing, whatever you're doing, and whatever space you're occupying has been cleared for you to be there.
Come on, preach. I saw, speaking of Catholic weddings, if you guys are familiar with Catholic ceremonies at all, church, mass, whichever, up, down, up, down, up, down. I was seconding, and I remember seeing the main photographer. She wanted to be down the aisle, so she was on the tripod one. She was doing the same thing. I kid you not. If you guys could see me on the little bitty pictures, she has her hand way up on the tripod and she's down on her knees, still getting a photo because it's on a tripod, it's set. And then when they stand, she stands. And when they kneel, she kneels. And I was like, dang, that second. I mean, that's just, that's another level of awesome. Being able to, like Matt was saying, be appropriately dressed and doing the same things they're doing. So it's not, you're not standing out. That was pretty cool to me. I thought, yeah, that's pretty neat.
I was at a beach wedding. It was on a public beach. One, the wind is not good for your, and sand is not good. The secondary thing is there was naked man walking through because it's a public beach.
Yes, because of course, that's when most sane, sober people think, wow, there's a beautiful wedding happening over there. This is where I need to ditch my clothing and start streaking through the back of their wedding. Yeah. Oh, you gotta love it. That's what a good second is for. Go shoo them off, will you?
There was another wedding. I was young that day, so I wasn't in college. But it was like we were in this church and they were like Marines doing their like routine, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like after they got married, the soldiers come in and they do their routine and then their drill too as well. And they come down the aisle and they kiss, like they did. And then after that, we went to a restaurant. We drove there and we have food there too as well, and did a dance there. And I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
There's just been so many. There was one couple I'm thinking of that I photographed their wedding, and they were very conservative Christian, like very, very conservative. They barely even wanted music played at their reception. They didn't want to do any of the bouquet toss because that would put pressure on people. Didn't do the garter thing because that was too intimate for a public setting. I mean, all these things, just finding the people and asking what they're doing. You're there to capture them, and however they do. All right, family portraits. I love family portraits. Generally, that's right after the ceremony. So if you talk to the couple beforehand, let the family know that they're needed there. Don't leave. Don't go to the happy hour and go get drunk. But you'll be quick and you'll get it done. So then they can go to happy hour. Now, I have a system. Use whatever you want to do. But this is the way I like to do it. I found it works really well. And the people like the aunts and uncles and stuff that tend to get lost anyway, they're done quickly and then they can go and you don't call them back. So I generally ask in the very beginning, who's got the bigger family, extended family that's going to come? Let's just say that the groom does, okay? So we start with the groom and everybody, anybody and everybody. I'm going to come back and look at you guys. Anybody and everybody. So mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, siblings, spouses, children, everybody, aunts, uncles, even if you think they might be there, and in family, invite everybody, okay? So if you start with everybody and you start whittling down, I put the bride and groom in the middle, parents. I let mama pick what side she wants to be on. She's going to pick her child, but you know what I mean. Pick, let mama pick, put her in there, grandparents. Then let everybody else come in, okay? Put them, make sure they can see them. Short people, they tend to hang out in the back because that's what, I don't know why, but they do. Feel free to put couples together, tell them to, hang, that type of idea. Move people around, say things smart, nicely, say it loudly, and with a smile. And then you tend to be okay. You can go wide, that's just fine. You don't need to go multiple layers. You can go wide. Turn people in so that they're not standing straight and wide, but they're turned slightly so that, and get them close. Men don't like to stand close to each other. You can acknowledge it and just kind of, please just push in for a few moments and then we'll be done, because they'll stand like far enough apart from each other. And you're like, this don't work. You got to squish it. Now, here's my thing. By this time, people are getting restless because folks aren't moving. They're trying to fake smile. They're trying to hide. They're doing all kinds of weird stuff. But once you get them in the spot, I kind of look at them. And then, then there's other people taking pictures. Uncle Bob's got his camera out. And he's trying to be like, well, I've got the word of Fernie lens. And I got the better camera than you do. And I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever. Shut up. Go away. Then it's cell phones. And everybody, look over here. Everybody look here. And I'm like, all right. I need to get their attention. And I need everybody to look at me. So instead of saying that, I'll say, okay, I'll look at any, there's always a child, always. Okay, all the big people, I want you to look this direction. I'm going to get their attention. And I will blow raspberries. I will make funny faces. I will do whatever. And the whole time, click, 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 click. I get those people, they're all looking right at me because I'm making faces and making the kids laugh. And they're all laughing at me. So what do I have? I have everyone looking right at me and smiling. Dang, it works every single time. That's how I do that. And then I start paring people down. So I start with everybody. All right, great. I just need mom, dad, siblings, spouses, aunts, uncles, everybody else, you can go. Thank you so much. And you don't need them again unless they are a bridal party. They stay. But they can go. The rest of them can go. And then picture with the siblings. The spouses go out. Now it's just family. Then, because if I have grandparents, generally grandparents are older. Sometimes they're not terribly fit, so they've been standing for a few minutes, which is not always a great idea. I will actually have the parents and siblings go stand to the side, get the grandparents, and then let them go. Guys following me?
I would like just comment on this just to kind of during this part of this is like the most mundane, boring part of the entire day. It really
Yes.
is very
Yes.
taxing to try to organize all this. So what I'd like to do is during my 2 week out consultation, 2 weeks out before we actually have the ceremony, I always do like a timeline consultation with the client. It's like me having the last conversation with the client before I actually see them on the day. One of the main things I ask them to do is create a shot list for family photos. That takes all the responsibility off of me as the photographer or videographer and puts it on the client to say, these are the photos that I want. So basically it has a, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, and you just go down the list and you're calling out names. And if they are there, then they're there. If they're not, then they're not. But it takes all the responsibility away from you to produce a product that if that it should be on the client for what photos they want.
I hear you, and I agree with that to a point. I personally like to be the one to take that responsibility off of them on their day. So yes, I love the pre-consultation. And I like it anywhere between a month to 2 weeks because you need that update. They may have made these plans originally a year ago. Things change. That's normal. Smart to have that consultation. We've talked about that before. I like to know all those people and who they are and explain to them, this is the way I like to do it. Just have these people there. And if they know that hopefully Uncle Bob or whoever, isn't camped out at the bar and we're, pretty good to go. But I personally like to take some of that off of them so that they can enjoy their day a little more. So with that plan, yes, I love the idea of getting the list of who these people are.
Right. That's the shot list is so they don't have to worry about it on the
Yep.
day. It's something they think
Absolutely.
of way in advance and you have the shot list in your hand. They are
Love it.
not have to they don't have to worry about anything. You are calling out names instead of just saying you. You're saying, okay, Uncle Joe and Aunt Sally, we're going in there. Okay, Aunt Sally and Uncle Joe come out. Let's get in there, Billy and James, let's get the brothers in there. Like you're not requiring them to make decisions on the day, but
Yep.
you have all the information you need to be able to control that situation and not asking them to be like, where is everyone?
Yep, absolutely. And then there's also times that when I've done that in the past, people get into this nitty gritty. I want this shot with this uncle, and then this shot with this uncle, and then this shot with this person and that. And it gets so minutia that there's times where I'm like, okay, which ones do we really need that right after the ceremony at the wedding site? Or can we do that at the reception? Then they're like, oh, well, okay, yeah. And then they go from all the pictures they want, which they want and will get them, to these are the family portraits we need right after the ceremony at the reception or at the ceremony place. Wherever you just got married, that's where we want to do this. That's saved for family. All the nitty gritty, little bitty, I want one like this and one like that. Generally, I say, let's see, can we do this after the reception or after the main things of the reception have happened? Oh yeah, that sounds perfect. Great idea. So that we're not taking all that time in the beginning. We can take the time at the end. That tends to work better. And then it flows through the family portraits a little faster. So recap everybody, and then I start whittling down. And when I'm done with them, I'm done with them. They can go. And that starts to clear out the ceremony site. It's less chaotic and things just move a little faster. I find that really works. Then people aren't standing around forever going, what am I doing? Do you need me anymore? Can I go? That doesn't really happen much anymore. Then switch families, everybody start whittling them down. Parents, grandparents, siblings. Okay. Grandparents, good, you're good to go. Siblings, you're good to go. Parents, and you're good to go. There are times I'm going to talk about step parents, horrible divorces, people not behaving. When I talk to the couple, I do ask, I'm like, are your parents together? Are there step parents? All these things. How are your parents' relationship? Do we expect to need a house bouncer? You know, I mean, what are they? And they kind of laugh. Most of them, they're okay. For the most part, they'll be all right. Some parents, they had a nasty divorce and they hate each other and they're being children about it. In those very few circumstances, I'll ask the couple, whoever's parents these are, would you just ask them, please, that you would like some photos with your parents? And if they can be nice and ignore each other for a day, that would be really wonderful. If they can't, give them an hour, you know, because, and just bring it back to, yes, it's a guilt trip. Their child wants a picture on their wedding day with their parents. Would you please act like adults? Generally, I mean, I don't make it heavy, but I do want to address the elephant in the room. And that if they go into that conversation with their parents of, hey, I know you don't like dad, you don't like mom, whatever, but I want a picture with you guys. Can you please give that to me? They will. It'll be nice. All right, let's go back to the share.
There's only one more thing I'd like to add.
Yeah,
to that,
go
if
ahead.
it's okay. It's important to note that in those types of situations with dealing with family, that you make it very clear to anyone trying to interject that you work for the couple.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who's paying for the wedding. It doesn't matter who is, financing everything and who thinks that they're in charge. You work for the couple. It is imperative that everyone has that that base knowledge so that you can approach any situation humbly, respectfully, but make any sort of decisions, put it on them to be able to mitigate, because the only authority that they have is what authority is given to you by the couple.
Absolutely. And again, if you just address this stuff in the beginning, I really haven't found that it's a big deal at all. People really work well. They want a beautiful wedding, and they don't really want to be butt heads when it comes to other people's weddings. Generally, people don't want that. But you're absolutely right, Matt. Totally. Okay, after the family portraits, which we can get done as quickly as possible, remember to get pictures of the couple there also at their ceremony site. This is where we got married. Then, if you want a separate place, there's generally a nice, beautiful space somewhere. People create these on purpose for photos. You can get these nice romantic portraits right after the ceremony and after the family portraits. Keep in mind when you need to have the couple back for dinner. And don't go over that time frame, period. If you have to shoot faster than warp speed, do it. But don't lose these. You definitely need it. Bring the flowers. Bring a bridesmaid or a groomsman to help out, to hold things, to hold trains, the whole bit. I mean, lipstick, everything. Just drink of water, whatever it is. Bring somebody to help. They're there to help. Let them help. Get some great portraits. Remember the space they're in, the things that's unique to where they are. They picked the space on purpose. So make sure to just see what that is and get them all in there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. All right. So you need to give them like say, for instance, if dinner starts at 6, don't be done by 5:59. Give them a minute. Okay. If you can, as much as you can, give them a minute to get ready for the reception. Again, guys, wedding dresses are freaking heavy and they are really hard to deal with. So this poor woman doesn't get the chance to go to the bathroom very often. This is a great time to do it. Let her go to the bathroom. Then the bridesmaids will bustle the dress. Go inside, set yourself up for the party entrance. Introduce yourself to the DJ if you haven't already. And whoever's doing, all that good stuff. Where are they entering? Do you have something special going on? Or are they just coming in and sitting down? That type of idea. And set up your on and off camera flash. I generally have one for the room. It's set up in a corner and it's pointed into the room. so that the back of the room is lit versus whatever's on your camera is only lighting about 6 feet around you. That's it. If you only have that, then you're going to have light people in dark room. It's just not cool. So one for the room, one for what's in front of you. Now, I'm going to stop here for a sec because this lighting is important. Can I see your lovely faces? Please. Brian, I still love your camera. It's like, okay. You guys all know how to use off-camera flash? Okay. Have you actually done it? Like in a not outside of classroom, in a situation where you're kind of running and gunning. Have you done that yet? Okay, it's important to try that. Because this is the type of thing where you kind of have to run and gun. You need to know your lighting and you need to be able to move things well. So before the couple comes in, you need to have your lighting set. I'm saying this because I want you to know this is important. Very important to know how to use your lighting on camera and off camera. The off camera is for the room, especially like they might have a ceremony outside and be in a dirt cave of a ballroom, which has no natural light whatsoever. It looks okay because our eyes and our brain make the adjustment, but the camera does not. It needs light. So you need to know how to use that. I would take every opportunity that you can to learn how to use on and off camera flash. One, I have my speed light on my camera, so it's pointed up to the ceiling and it's lighting whatever's in front of me, about 6 to 8 feet. The secondary is on a light stand way up high and it's pointed into the room. So it's lighting the room. That's it. Yes, no, following? Okay. Now, here's the fun thing. When you have one that's on camera, one that's off, you don't need a trigger system. All you need to do is turn your one that's in the room, that's on the light stand, onto slave mode. So it'll, anytime that that red optical eye is seeing flash, it'll flash. It's kind of a nice little feature. So learn how to use slave mode for that secondary one that's pointing into the room. And then whatever, so however you turn, wherever you are in the room and you're, the dancing, the toast, all the things that are happening, the room is being lit and whatever's in front of you is being lit. That's the way to do it. But that takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. Cool. I'm going to tell you, this is really important to try this. Okay. All right. Thank you. I just wanted to see your lovely faces to make sure you guys were really hearing that. It's important. Very, very important. Okay. Back to the share. Right. Well, first off, any questions about lighting before I move on?
Would you use any modifiers for the room light? Or would you
I
just
don't.
have it as bare flash?
I generally don't. Either bare flash, or if it's in a corner, I'll bounce it into the corner so that it'll, if it's a small enough room, that it'll go out. But if it's a large room, I'll turn it around and just point into the room. Just look at the lighting that you're getting. Do you like it? If it's bare bulb and you're going straight, you're high enough that you're not normally going to get that in the room shot. But if it's too much, turn it around into the corner, let it bounce back and see if how that looks for you.
How do you deal with if this isn't a wedding, but it's an event in which they don't want me to use flash?
I would talk to them and let them know your constraints, if there are any. Like if you know the room and it's just too dark, I'm going to have some issues with that if I can't use flash.
It's less dark than it is ugly.
Well,
I don't like the light at all.
you got to just look and try to make the best of it. Focus in on the people a little bit more and a little less of the room.
Yeah, the lighting's going to be pretty multicolored.
Do your
Um,
best. If that's their thing, be honest with them. You're the professional. Tell them, hey, we're going to have some issues with this. I'm going to do my best. I would like to use flash.
Is it less, if it's pointed upwards, does it not get into people's face as much? Because this would be this is a sporting thing in which I don't want to distract them from their focus.
Okay. Two different ideas there. If I'm close and I'm pointing straight up, then yes, it's almost like an overhead light. Yes, you're going to get some raccoon eyes. But if they're a little further back, it's not going to be that bad. It's going to get more into their face. Then
So
there's times that I won't point straight up necessarily, but a little angled. And with the card on the back, it's kind of angling into them versus straight up, and it's just an overhead light. I'm angling a little bit and into them with that card. Did that make sense without an actual visual?
I'm gonna say sort of.
Hang on.
You could also, Ruth, you can also ask them to like turn the lights on because they can also do that too as well. Because I had the instant where I was at a wedding and it was really dark after the ceremony, and then I asked them like just to turn up the lights a little bit so I can get more light. So you can also ask them. Then they can be happy to do that too for you too as well. If you
I
can't bring
think
your
all the
flash.
lights will be on. It, like I said, it's a sporting thing. All the lights are gonna be on. It's just not a
Okay.
attractive
I'm
light.
Point. Okay. If I'm pointing my flash directly at them, that's just going to blast the bejubers out of them. And
Right,
I'm going to have white people in dark cave.
right.
Straight up, we'll point into the room, and the same angle, it's going to bounce back down. So if they're close to you, they're just going to get this kind of lighting right over their head, basically. Diffused and a little bit more scattered, but basically they're still going to get overhead lighting. If I angle the light a little, and I pull out that card, this light now is it's going at an angle, so it's going to come down at an angle, which will give them lighting on their face. Okay.
And that's angled toward, and that's pointed towards them, right? The angle is towards them.
Towards them, that's right. The card will actually bounce it a little bit more this way. So this way, it's just going to go everywhere. Okay. But it's going to do that same angle. It's angle of incident equals angle of reflection. It's straight up, it's going to come down straight down.
Okay.
If I'm angled, it's going to be angled. Yes,
Yeah,
no?
I think I'll ask them to let me try it, and then if
Okay.
it's interfering with, if they don't like it, then maybe keep going without it. But
Do your best. Talk to them. That's really the most important part, is to talk to them.
yeah, I should have a trial run the day before because there's a practice. So
Yeah, absolutely. You might be able to get a lot of great pictures at the practice.
right, where it's less important.
Yep, absolutely. No one
Okay.
else knows from the photos that it's a practice.
That's true. They're wearing the exact same thing.
Yeah, as long as they're in uniform of whatever sort. Yeah. Any other questions, thoughts?
I didn't see it. I didn't buzz that because I pulled up because I pull up with my flash because I have that same thing too as well. I'm like, what's this for? I'm like, oh okay. I can use that to my flash because I was like pointed straight directly at them, and that's how I like. Okay, so now I know I'm not
Yep.
going straight at them and then used to bounce the two.
Yep.
Okay.
And I can turn it this way. The card is really quite nice because it just keeps it from bouncing back this way. It'll push it forward a little bit more, which is what you're going for. There's been times that I will use, and I still have it, it's a piece of that foam paper for crafts. And it's real bendy and really great to shove into your camera bag because it doesn't care. And I will take a rubber band and that foamy thing. So it's like this over my thing. So it's a lot bigger than just this little bitty card, this little bitty bounce card. It's a huge bounce card. I like it. It works a lot. It works very, very well. Any other questions, y'all? Questions, thoughts?
I was gonna ask for, this isn't a lighting question, but during like the family photos and stuff, do you also do photos of like the bridesmaid and the groomsmen?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I really just focused on the family, but yes, absolutely. That's when I would also do the bridesmaids and the groomsmen and all that good stuff. Yes. Forgive me, I didn't say that out loud. But you're right. That's when I would do it. Anything else? Okay, let's go back to the reception. Yay, the reception. Okay, we talked about this. Find out again what's happening when it's happening. Talk to the DJ. We've talked about this, I think both weeks. Get to know the DJ, give them your card, take photos of the DJ doing their thing, not just sneaky photos, but hey, look right here. Get great photos of them because they can use that. If you need a minute, like right after the food is served and you've done your stuff, and you need a moment before the toast and the speeches start, talk to the DJ. They're the ones involved, the ones running it. They're the master of ceremonies. Hey, give me a second, all right? Are you going to do this in a minute or 15 minutes? Oh, 15 minutes? Okay, I'm going to be right back. Yeah, I'll be right. Just do what you need to do, but talk to the DJ. Capture all the details. If you've not done it earlier in the day, anything that the couple spent money on, photograph that. Speeches and toasts. I like to get close to the people who are doing it for lighting's sake, but you don't want to stand up right in front of them. I like to crouch down. It's not a problem. You don't want to get in the way of the guests. And if you have to, do it quickly and get out. There are times you just have to do what you have to do. But you're not a guest. You're there to photograph it. So do it the best you can and not be in the way. You like the reactions though. Those are a lot of fun. Sometimes long lens from far away or long lens from a medium distance so that you can really zoom in on the person who's talking. And if you have a second, have the second get the reaction of the couple. It's a lot of fun. Cutting the cake. Don't be afraid. You're there on purpose. You're getting paid. Get the shot. Get right where you need to be to get the shot and let everybody else crowd around you. This is where the kids will get right in front because they have been released from their obligations of behave. So they'll jump right in front of you when it comes to the sugar. So hold your ground, get what you need, and just smile and do the thing. This is the one time I will say, yes, it's okay to be in the way. You need to be right there. Bride and groom with the guests. It used to be a thing years ago to photograph every table. That in between time, but while they're still waiting to be served, photograph everyone around the table. People get up and leave. How dare they? They leave their tables. They get up and go to the bathroom or talk to other guests. That was always a pain. That was my job for a while to get these table shots, and I would hear, oh, but so-and-so is gone and they're gone and they're not coming back for a while. Don't get our table. And I'm like, okay, that sucks. So instead, when I started doing my own weddings, I worked with the bride and groom and I'd say, okay, I'm going to be your personal paparazzi. Again, we talked about this last week. You want to eat as quickly as possible. So when the couple is ready, when they're done eating, you're ready to walk around with them. As they go say hello to all their guests, get pictures with them. They'll go and say hello to all these people. That's a really great time to get all these extra pictures they want with all these folks. Not after the ceremony, because that's just, you want to get that done pretty quickly and let people go to the reception site, to the happy hour, whatever. And I want more time with the bride and groom. So I'll push all those little bitty photos that aren't immediate family to the reception. This is where you can get them. I literally just walk around with them. And as they're going and saying hello to everybody, the people stand up. Hey, everybody get close. Let me get a photo. Dun, 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 look at it. make sure I got the photo, look them square in the eye, thank you. And they go on to the next people.
I have a question before you move on.
Yep, go for it.
Going back to the slide with this glare in the background, how do you fix that?
I'm sorry. How do I fix which? I'm sorry.
Does one to your left with that glare in the background with the sun?
Put
Like,
people in it. I would have
so just
moved.
put more people.
In other words, I would have just moved a little this way and
Okay.
put this guy or put somebody else, like have them stand up in the back and put it there. If this was my photo, I would have done that. But this was just a nice photo I found.
Okay.
Yep. That help?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Dancing. You want to really get these faces and the reactions if you can. More and more women will just bury their face in the guy's chest and you don't get anything. Or they ugly cry. But okay, if they're ugly crying, that's when I will get more far away images. I will get wider images because no one wants to look at themselves ugly crying. But they're not just their reactions, but also the people around them. There are people are reacting to these, and that's just wonderful. Wide, medium, close. Yes, use flash. Yes, yes, yes. Dancing with the crowd. Okay. I love to get couple pictures while people are dancing. So the slow dances especially. And I am not afraid to be on the dance floor with them. I will walk right up to a couple and I'll tap them or touch them, let them know I'm there. And I'll pick up, I don't even say anything. I just pick up the camera and smile at them. And they look at me and they smile. I have a great picture of all these couples. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, whoever, all dancing, having fun, the slow dances. And I got a great picture of these couples on the floor being romantic. It's a great thing. You can't set that up. I mean, that's just a wonderful place to get all those photos. So having fun with that, having fun with all the cuteness and the kids being all the adorables. And yes, once drinks come out on the dance floor, that's when you should be gone. Nobody needs to pay you tremendous amounts of money to watch drunk people do weird drunk things on the dance floor. So I take this opportunity to start exiting gracefully. And by that, I say I go first to the mother of the bride and the mother of the groom. Are there any pictures that we haven't taken yet that you would like? Anybody you want pictures with that we haven't done yet? They may have some. Take them all, whatever they want, until they say, no, I think I'm good. Thank you. Go to the other mother of the groom, mother of the bride, whichever one. Same thing. And then go to the bride. Are there any pictures that you haven't had yet with people that you would like? Oh, no, no, no. And then you can either tell them or you can wait. So they generally will say, did you check with my mom? Did you check with his mom? If I say it first, like, hey, I've already checked with name them, mother of the bride, mother of the groom. I've already checked with them and I've gotten all the photos they want. Are there any that you would like? Then they're just like, wow, yeah, okay, we got them all. We're good. Thank you so much. Now, granted, this is after all the events of the reception have happened. The cake, the toasts, the meal, everything has happened. The cake is usually last because it's dessert. Check with the DJ. Is there anything else happening? Get all those photos. They may, if they're a partying kind of couple, they might go on for a couple of hours. Generally, after the dessert and maybe a couple of dances, people leave. Folks with kids, the older folks that want to go to bed early, they leave. So things start clearing out, and then the young folks are left having fun. Talk to your couple ahead of time. Again, I know I keep saying this, say again, plan with them. What is it that they want? Are they going to have a fun exit that they want? Or are they just going to let the evening wind down and leave? When do you leave? When are you paid to stay there? And again, I say to folks, I'm like, as soon as the drinks start coming out on the dance floor, that's generally the time that, we're good to go. You don't really need to capture that. Other people can do that on their cell phones. Make sure you've got all the photos that people want. So when you're done, no one went, oh, but I didn't get a picture of. Hey, you've covered that. Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
That's-
Never, ever, 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 ever Irish exit of a wedding. An Irish exit, anybody Irish? Anybody? Nobody's Irish? Really?
Scottish.
Scottish. Okay, I don't know if they're the same. Irish people, it takes you like 4 hours to get out of there. You go for a family event. Hey, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much. Oh, did you have any food? Did you take some food home? Did you get this? Here, have another drink. You didn't have a drink. Here, have a drink. Did you say hello to so and so? Did you say goodbye to them? And did you say goodbye to... It'll take you forever to get out if you announce that you're leaving. So an Irish exit is you just leave. Don't say goodbye to anybody, maybe the person around you. Hey, have a good one. It's good to see you. Bye. And you just ditch. Don't ever do that if you're a hired vendor. As I'm doing the photos for these people at the end, that's my way of starting to say goodbye. And they will kind of dismiss me after that. They're like, wow, no, I think we got everything we wanted. Thank you so very much. Okay. They have nothing but good things to say after that. They got all the photos they wanted. They know I'm gone. They're happy. They can't ask for anything more. And then, yes. Yes, Matt, go ahead.
That was gonna say that's the opportunity that they have to also tip you. So life hack.
Sure.
That's the time that you say, like, what photos would you like? Is there anything else I could do for you? It's usually about 15 minutes prior to your scheduled departure time because you're paid per hour, or at least I am in my contract. And at that time, you say, like, well, I'm about 15 minutes away. Is there anything else you want? And then they will say, no, you're great. You already closed up all your stuff, and they will, at that opportunity, be able to tip you. It's not something you bring up, but 9 times out of 10, they will throw you something.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that too. It's a wonderful thing. But the nice part is when you leave like that, the couple is extremely happy. They love what you've done. You've had a chance to say goodbye. You made sure they were well taken care of. They just love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so that is a full wedding from beginning to end. Questions, thoughts? Okay, bye, Tabitha.
Bye. Have a great day.
Any questions, thoughts? Oh my gosh, please never make me do this. Okay. A lot of this can go into any event that you're doing. Planning, lighting, knowing what's important, capturing people as you're going along, getting used to and comfortable with talking to people and getting their photograph. Not necessarily waiting to be asked, but just going ahead and doing it. So if you're at an award ceremony, for instance, that's one that people like a lot of photography for, people getting awards. As people are mingling and you start to see them talking and doing whatever, if they pull out a cell phone, grab a picture. They're together for some reason, whether they know each other, they're friends, whatever. Get their picture too. You see a cell phone stuck out and getting a selfie, let them get it. And then hey, me too. Let me get this photo and get their photo. If they have a drink in their hand, they're usually, as people are talking, they hold their drink up here because that's what they're used to. And they can take a drink periodically and do their whatever. But as you're taking a photo, ask them just to hold your drink down. You never know where that photo is going to end up, especially in magazines. Like there's a Colorado Springs magazine. There's all kinds of Colorado Springs magazines. You never know where these things are going to end up. And you don't necessarily want the, hey, look, we're 20 and we're partying type of photo. They are professionals and they want, hold the drinks down. It's more about their face than the drink. You don't have to hide it. I just don't want them up here, in other words. Make sense? All right, that's the end of this one for today. Your assignment is the same. And yeah, I went ahead and changed the date for today or for this year. Figured that'd work. 3 takeaways. That's your assignments. 3 takeaways from this lesson. Okay, anything else before we are done for the day?
Are we just turning the 3 takeaways into the 3rd assignment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, if that's it. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you.
A good
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.